What's up, Houston? How are y'all? It's been a while. I think it's been the 10 days since our last time hopping on here. We do have a video coming out in full transparency with me and one of my teammates talking about MLB free agency, and we've been going to Rockets games and Texans games and interacting more so on Twitter. But it's nice to get back face to face with you, Brett.
Yeah, sorry it's been a while. I've been busy with work and a few things going on, but it's good to be back to my safe place. Talking about sports talking about two teams that are the worst in the league that they're in. So
I'm missing the Astros. I'm missing the Astros really bad right now.
yeah, it's just I keep looking on Twitter and keep going back to when we were posting about the Astros just to relive those days 2 weeks ago. But I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
it. Even though our other teams are losing, it's still something to watch. Like the Rockets,
hmm
we lost the past two games. We beat the Mavericks, but the past two games we haven't won, but it's been interesting to watch. So it's good to see growth, except the Texans. Now I think about it, at least we got the
Yeah.
Astros.
Yeah, speaking of Twitter, Twitter's been absolutely amazing to us, and I kind of want to start it off by I went out to the Rockets game Friday against the Indiana Pacers and met up with a bunch of the Houston podcasters. The biggest one was Biased Houston, that Will, who does a lot. He has a podcast, almost 20,000 followers. If you follow us, you should definitely go follow him. Get him to 20K real quick. Absolutely great. Very accepting, and all of Rockets Twitter was like all the fans of their show came up and talked to me, and I introduced myself, made my rounds, and kind of got embraced, and definitely something me and Brett want to do in the future together, going out and meeting fans and talking to other podcasters, and just, man, there's nothing like Rockets Twitter, is there? If this is Rockets Twitter now, I can't wait for Rockets Twitter when we're good.
I know, and the fact that Rockets Twitter, worst team in the league, and Rockets Twitter went from, I think when we joined it on the podcast, it was at, I think, 2,500, and now it's at 4,000
hmm
somehow. Like not even a month
Yeah.
later. So, just seeing how many Rockets fans there are, just
hmm
supporting this god awful team, and I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
you kind of, it is a little bit of like toxicity on the Twitter community, but you're gonna have
hmm
that with being a bad team. So just just seeing that, like, everyone can look past the bad moments, and y'all got together at the game and talked, and got to meet each other for the first time in person instead of typing at each other on Twitter, debating on whether we should fire Silas. So it's good to see
hmm
that, and hopefully I get to go to one with you. And yeah, man. I mean, Will, shout out Will, Biased Houston, the Will and Brado show on YouTube. I've been watching it for a
hmm
while now. They kind of inspired me, and Cameron, of course. They kind of inspired us to start this, and um, I'm just saying, if I would never have saw, a recommended tweet from Will, I never would have joined the Rockets community, and we probably would have never started this. So shout out to Will. He seemed like a cool guy. Was he a cool guy? I'm assuming.
Oh, he was absolutely awesome. I mean, very interactive. We talked colleges. He goes to Prairie View. I went to St. Thomas. We talked baseball, and then we started talking about basketball. I didn't know this about him. He started his Twitter account 2 years ago, and he's at 20K now.
Yeah.
So that just shows the power of Rockets Twitter and what interacting can do. He was really cool. They're very big about doing Twitter Spaces after games. And I was just watching one right before we hopped on here. 314 people after and so met all the guys that do the Twitter Spaces with them. All of them were great. Met up at halftime, talked sports. I mean, I can't. It was awesome for us because we got some verified people following us and connections and phone numbers and all that. So absolutely, it was fun. Can't wait to have you come out soon once you get a. I do want to say, I don't care if you don't want it out there. Brett just got a big time job offer, and he's going to accept that working out at Dow. Congrats, bud. It's been about a year and a half in the making. Dominoes to rubber technician
I don't want to talk about
to forklift driver, and now you're not on working on contract. You're working at Dallas, so congratulations, dude. I'm so proud of you. I really am. It took me 10 days to say it face to face, but I really am proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. It's gonna be nice with the little raise I'm getting, but also the schedule is more consistent over there, so these podcasts should be more consistent by then. And of course, we're trying to get on a schedule right now, but you're available all the time. With my shift, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to find a time where I can come in and do this, where I'm not, dog tired and all that. But yeah, it should get more get the schedule more laid
money
out.
to go, and more money to go to games with me.
Yep.
I mean, we got to make that happen.
Yep.
Speaking of stuff like that, everything we make during this podcast, whether it's from Twitter, from merchandise, which should be coming out sooner, from the podcast, is going right back into the podcast. We're two. I'm a college athlete. He has a full-time job at Dow. Like, we're all right. We don't need that. We really want to make better content. And I've never understood like the people that would always talk about, oh, I just want to put the money in to make better content, but now I like actually understand. Like, I want to have the nicest like setup. I want to go to all these events and meet all these fans. I want to wear the nicest shirts just to like improve this more than I would want cash in my pocket. So I know our next purchase that I'm really excited about is we're buying this microphone that hooks up to your iPhone. You videotape, and all these sporting events we're going to find random fans and just ask them questions.
Speaking of this sporting events we're going to, do you want to tell them?
Tell them what?
About MILB?
Should we yet? I think you should just point, and we'll wait.
Anyway, keep going.
So we'll have that. Check out our TikTok. I think that's something exciting that I really want to grow with. Doing a bunch of TikTok videos, maybe like going to another Rockets game and interviewing Will. Give us questions that you'd want to ask some of these bigger guys that we have connections to. Reach out to fans. I don't mind doing a little, get these 5 questions right, win $20. Like, I like that stuff. Like, that's what got me into this. And so I would love to do that, bring that to Houston. So,
yeah. And real quick, before we move on from this topic about Rockets Twitter, did you see that Rockets Twitter had like a basketball like session today? Yeah. Will had like 15 guys out there.
That. Yeah, I guess we're not in the clique like that yet, but hopefully soon. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows I'm wet. From 3. Sorry.
Pause.
No pause. Keep going. But yeah, you play like a pissed off toddler. You score somehow. I don't even know like what you're really good at. You just kind of go out there and do something, you know?
Effort. I'm good at effort.
You would average 3 texts per game, and you can only get 2 in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's no review for flagrants and pickup, and I live by that. You know.
Yes, you do. You leave your opponent bruised every time. So. And usually I'm your opponent, but yeah, that's real cool of them to do that. You know, and it just shows how close this community is and what it's going to be in the future. So it's cool to see that.
I guess, like you said, 10 days, I want to catch y'all up. I don't know what we were at 10 days ago, but we were approaching 250 followers on Twitter. Like, I would not be surprised if we hit that tonight. That's awesome. We're not even 3 weeks in, and 250 followers, all interacting. Like, we have a good amount of likes on our posts, a good amount of comments. Like, it's just a big community right now, and that's something we said from episode 1, if you want to go back, is just interactions. Mm-hmm. We got to get our following to follower ratio right. We're a little ahead, but I love the interaction that's going on.
Yeah, for sure. And that kind of bothers me at work sometimes. You know, I was was at work today, and I just keep getting notification. I look, and you're in an altercation with someone. Y'all are just going off on each other. I'm like, dude. But yeah, it's cool to just talk to everyone on there. People comment on our stuff, we comment on theirs. I mean, it's cool to talk to everyone and just kind of build a name for yourself. But you're also getting to talk to people that you never really talk to. So, so if you're ready to move on,
there's just one more thing I wanted to say. We already have quite a few people reaching out to join the podcast, and obviously once we get a more set schedule, that's going to happen a lot more. Like every episode, I want someone on.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all looking at our ugly mugs this whole time, you know. So when we do get a more consistent schedule, there will be people on every episode. I think me and Brett have already said that that's something we want. If you want to hop on an episode or hop on a Twitter space or hop on a TikTok, let us know. Like we're trying to make this as much of a community as possible. So with that being said, I think it's time to talk about.
Well, let's start off with something good, okay? You had an eventful day today. You went to the Texans game.
I did.
What did you see at the game?
I guess so. Oh, man. Right there, right corner end zone, right where Davis Mills threw that pick six. That was that started my afternoon. No, I don't want to bash on the Texans fans at all. Rockets and Astros have y'all beat. It was pretty depressing being there. I genuinely think the stadium was split 50-50 between Commander fans and Texans fans. And the Commander fans were definitely louder. Obviously, they had more to cheer about, and they traveled all this way. But I mean, you got to feel bad for the players. There's no home field advantage at all, and I'm a big believer in home field advantage, especially for football. Like you watch college football, or you go to a college football game, how loud it is, the amount of offensive penalties there are, is insane. And the Texans need every little bit they can get. But I also don't blame fans for going out and not wasting money to see that awful town on the field.
I mean, like,
I guess we'll go in.
We were talking about Will earlier, Biased Houston. What did he put on Twitter? He got offered free tickets to the game today and denied it. Well, I got better things to do on a Sunday. Yeah, don't necessarily blame him too much. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the game because I was at work, but just looking at the score and the stats, I'm not complaining I missed the game. I'm not going to lie to you.
No. So I'll give you my little rundown of I sat through that whole thing for y'all. I was there. I was making TikToks. I was tweeting, but I was there the whole time. Honestly, our defense did not look awful. I think when our defense struggled is because they got tired. Like the amount of 3 and outs were absolutely insane. I'm really impressed with our secondary. Petrie, Derek Stingley, Derek King. They looked really good. I'm not going to lie. Terry McLaurin, his only catches are really just off the break slants that he just got open, and it's Terry McLaurin. You're not catching him on that. You know. I also feel like every time they did catch the ball, they were brought down pretty early. Nothing really happened. You look at the score. You take away the touchdown. It's a 13-10 ball game instead of the pick six, you know.
Yeah. And
that's with our defense being out there after all these 3 and outs. I was scared about Heineke because he has happy feet in the pocket, and we know how slow our defensive line is. But I thought we contained very well. I was impressed with our linebacking core. Generally a good game. I mean, nobody for the Commanders really went off. Heineke had an all right game. Brian Robinson had like 70, 80 yards. A lot of that was in the second half. But man, you can't keep sending your defense out there 3 and out. The Texans had 5 total yards of offense going into the first half.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's what Pep Hamilton is doing is awful. We cannot see who we want to bring into the next season with us. Like, he is putting out the worst offensive scheme I've ever seen. I wanted to tweet out that his play calls are more predictable than a Dr. Seuss book. Like, it is. I could tell you every single play that was going to happen. It's not fair to Davis Mills. It's not fair to Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks might not be a Texan if we knew how to throw the ball downfield. He might have had good trade value. Our offensive line play was not awful. I think we had 2 holdings. I don't think any false starts. I think Davis got sacked 3 or 4 times, but it was at least 2 of them where he just held the ball in the pocket too long.
Yeah.
I know 1 sack was given up because of Kennard Green, but I think we knew that was going to be a problem drafting him in the first round. He's just not a very good pass blocker yet. But I don't even want to blame this game on any particular person except for Pep Hamilton. Like, you cannot run it up the middle, screen pass, run it up the middle, screen pass, run it up the middle, screen pass every single time. And you take it to the fourth quarter and you want to start doing medium passes, deep passes, start getting routes going instead of just catching here. We started moving the ball downfield twice. So it's the person I feel the most bad about is Davis. Like, we have not been able to see what Davis can do, and he's getting all this hate, and deservingly so. You know, like, he's the quarterback for a 1-8-1 team.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, but the play calls are not helping him at all. Like, I had this conversation with someone on Twitter saying, what do we have to lose to throw the ball? Like, Davis looked good last year throwing the ball deep, and I was at that Chargers game last year when he had those 2 60-yard completions and threw for 280 yards, I think. And we beat the Chargers at home. Why?
I don't know, man. It's I don't even know what to say at this point with them. I guess CJ Stroud, welcome to the team. That's all I really got, man. But I remember I took a screenshot of something off of Twitter at the end of the first quarter. Houston Texans total offense -2 yards. The Fuller pick 6, 37 yards. So, I mean,
and that's another thing that I will say against Davis is, like, watching him on TV. Watching on TV get a lot better look than watching in person. So I couldn't really give you a tell about today's game. But Brandon Cooks is Davis Mills' safety blanket. Like, if he doesn't have Brandon there to check it down to, I do not know if Davis will actually throw the ball. Like, he does not. You watch, and it does not look like he goes through his progressions at all. He looks at his wide receiver 1, whatever that is for that route, Brandon Cooks. That ain't open.
Gets sacked.
And just goes down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that in the first drive, Davis Mills kind of had the right idea with throwing a touchdown. It was just unfortunately to the defense. So it's, you know, at least his mind was right. But hold on, let me see real quick. I saw something earlier.
And I'll give him his flowers when it's due. He looked really good in the pocket today and getting out of it. He had a 4-yard touchdown run. It was 4th and 4 or 4th and 3, scrambled, got 4 yards. I mean, you don't see that out of Davis, but both times was very obvious that he should have ran, and he ran and he scored. So that was good to see, making something happen. Because I remember it was either first or second quarter. No, it was the start of the third quarter, that first drive that we were driving down the field, and Kaimi had to kick the field goal. I mean, I think it was 3rd and 6 to goal. Sits in the pocket, does nothing, stays in the pocket, looks, and then just accepts the sack. Didn't even try to get out. So it was nice to see him use his feet. Not a mobile quarterback, but anyone, I mean, a yard's a yard, you know? And a yard is a lot better than -6 yards.
Yeah, and I saw a video on Twitter of Jalen Petrie's missed interception. How?
First
How?
play of the game.
How do
First
you
play
not
of the
catch
game.
that? First play of the game?
Might have been the second. First pass.
First drive. How do you not catch that?
I think both. It became a. And obviously you played high school football. I didn't, but it was one of those that Taylor Heineke was moving around in the pocket, and that's when the wide receiver's only job is just to get open. If they got to run zigzag, if they got to run a question mark, if they got to whatever they got to do, they got to get open, right?
Yeah.
And so McLaurin starts cutting upfield trying to get open. Heineke didn't see that and launched it. And so the only excuse I can give for Petrie is that he started going forward and then had a turnaround. But as an NFL player, you can't. I mean, he even had his head to the ball like this. So.
All right, I got a question for you. Cameron Craig, 6'2".
Yep, I catch that ball.
6'2", star closer for St. Thomas University. Well,
5'11".
The closer. I don't know about star, but if I throw you on that field.
Yeah.
In that exact situation. By the way, were you ever a receiver or anything like that?
Tight end in junior high, a little bit.
You were the center, I remember.
No, it was 7th grade. Fat Cameron, which they might get the pictures of. You remember 8th grade me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I just want to put that out there.
Is 7th grade Cameron making that catch?
7th grade? No. Hell no.
What about 8th grade Cameron?
Maybe. It's 7th grade Cameron's getting gassed. I'm not making it 20 yards downfield.
Okay, is modern day you right now, 21-year-old Cameron Craig? Are you?
Yeah, I'm making that catch without a doubt. Yeah, that was the first thing I told Shane is I think I could make that play.
I feel like that's like a very manly thing to say. It's like your instinct reaction seeing something like that, you're like, oh, I could do it. It's like you're watching American Sniper and you see the dude snipe a toddler and you're like, yeah, I could do it. Yeah, it's like I don't know. I feel like that's a.
But are you trying to tell me right now that I don't make that play?
I don't know.
Are you trying to tell me now? No, is that what you're trying to say?
Jalen Petrie
didn't make the play. Now.
That's all. Okay. Anyway, Jalen Petrie didn't make the catch. Texans lost. Who would have guessed? Okay. I think we talked enough about them.
Yeah, I don't even I guess I went to the game wanting to win, but now I'm okay losing every single game, except I want to beat the Browns. It's a double negative.
I'm going to that game.
Someone's got to. Are you really?
Yep.
With your dad or what?
No, with work. Imagine that.
Really?
I'm quitting and they're still taking me.
You gonna create content or what?
I don't know, I'll do something. I don't know, but I got a Colroyd. What the hell? I got a carpool with a bunch of 6-year-old men, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I mean that's really the only point in the rest of the season I'm looking forward to. So I think it's time to move on to the Rockets, which is also not very fun to talk about.
So I guess we'll talk about Friday's game since I was there, and then we can go over the stats of the game against the Mavs and Warriors. Friday, gosh, I love Rocket games. They make it so fun. They really do. It's a great atmosphere. It's good prices. Get your family out there. It really is a blast. Support the young guys. Going on to say, that first quarter was amazing to watch. We were up by 20 points at one point. And then that might have been the worst 3 quarters of basketball I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was, man, that was something.
My main takeaway is, and we should have done this podcast yesterday so I can say this, because Tari went off today. But Friday, Tari got absolutely manhandled by Miles Turner. I've never seen a player just get so out-physicaled and outbeat just physically than what Tari went through. Like, he was getting bullied. He was getting bullied in the paint. There's nothing else to say. Offensively, defensively, Miles Turner owns Tari.
Yeah, well, Miles Turner is also one of the best shot blockers in the league. So, and Tari's a rookie, but I don't know, dude. On this team, I'm looking at the box score right now, and I mean, you had KPJ drop a decent game. His plus minus was still -14. Jalen 16 points. That's kind of struck.
Are you talking about Friday?
Never mind. Sorry, I was talking about
yeah,
tonight.
Well, let's say KPJ was out.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they had KJ Martin in the lineup, right?
Yes, KJ murdered Miles Turner. Don't tell me nothing about a young guy, because he baptized Miles Turner. That was. I mean, we lost. We were already losing. We knew we lost at that point, but I mean, everyone in the stadium went nuts.
KJ is proving to me that he should be on the team more and more each game.
And I'm scared he's proving it too much. There's talks about Phoenix really wanting him.
Yeah, saw that.
But if we're going to talk about trades, Eric Gordon looked good that night as the primary ball handler. He showed that he can still get the job done. He looked good. I mean, you got to give him his flowers. Definitely raised the trade stock. Definitely proved that he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
He wants to be on a contender. I've seen some stuff about him going to the Knicks for Derrick Rose, and who's the other guy that they want to get rid of? Who's a younger guy?
I didn't see that.
It's all over Rockets like Twitter. It's the two guys, but no like actual tread behind it. But that's like the mock trade right now. Over under 2 weeks, Eric Gordon is your Rocket.
I don't know, man. I think he is a. That's so hard to say. I'm gonna say he's getting traded at the trade deadline, day of, if not the day before.
Okay.
I think he stays on the team for a while. Do I really want him to? Not exactly. Does he want to? No. But I don't know. I don't see a trade getting done quite yet. Especially with Silas still trying to figure out the offense.
It would.
Oh, here's one. Steven Silas, over under 20 games.
Left.
Yeah.
They're taking Silas to the end of the year.
I would think so.
No, I think they take him to the rest of the year. Do you want? The only way they don't is that they promote Muhammad. That's the only way they don't. Is they promote Muhammad to see what he can do, because I don't think you can hire Muhammad as a coach, like brand new coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, end of the year, we fire Silas. I don't think Muhammad is the guy that you could just go, hey, I'm hiring him to be the head coach of the Houston Rockets. Interim head coach, why not? See what he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, our G League team's always well. You know, we develop. I mean, we call up guys like Jashawn Tate, Daniel House. Like, those guys just come up and then they compete at the NBA level, you know? And that's not supposed to happen for the G League.
Yeah, except for Daniel House. I can't stand him at all.
He wasn't awful.
He was not good at all.
Better than Deshaun. Hey, Deshaun Nix or Daniel House?
Where'd it go? Where'd the other flag go? It was right here.
I do. We might have to rewatch this video.
Anyway, what was your question?
I mean, Daniel House or Deshaun Nix? That's
Deshaun Nix.
Well, I can't believe I want to ask you this question. I've been meaning to ask you this question. When Jashawn Tate comes back, he's too good to come off the bench, right? Like that's our problem right now is the Rockets. We have so many above average players that should be in the starting lineup, you know?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see Alperin come off the bench. But in all seriousness, Alperin at his best is probably a bench player, a great six man. You know, like on a championship winning team, Alperin's coming off the bench. Now, do I think Bruno's the answer? No, heck no. But if that means you get KJ Martin and Jabari starting lineup time, I'm okay with that. So when Jayshawn Tate comes back, where does he fall in? Because I feel like he's too good to come off the bench on this team.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. I don't see them taking Eric Gordon out of the lineup. I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's evident that they want him in that starting lineup. So I think that's how it's gonna be for now. I know that Jayshawn Tate, when he comes back, he's not gonna start the first few games. I know that for sure. But I mean, unless he starts scoring more than he does, which don't get me, he's not a scoring guy, you know. He can score. We've seen him score, but that's not really his strong suit. He's more of like a lockdown defensive kind of player. So I don't know. When he comes back, he's gonna go right back to the bench. I think he's gonna be the seventh man in the rotation. KJ is still gonna be our sixth man, I believe. So, I wouldn't mind seeing Garuba start just because Şengün looks so good coming off the bench. Even if it takes minutes away from him, which it's really not, because Garuba tonight against the Warriors, Garuba had 22 minutes and Şengün had 23. So I mean, you could keep them at the same amount of minutes they're getting right now, but I do like Garuba in our starting lineup, and I did like Bruno Fernando in our starting lineup. So I'm not saying I'm against Şengün. I love Şengün. He's probably my favorite player on the team. But he looks so good with the bench unit out there, because
the Goon squad.
With the spacing.
Watching. I think that Alperin is a better scorer. I think he's better in isolation scoring, and I think the stats are there to prove it. Like, he's top 3 in the league in isolation scoring percentage. I think what Jalen Green and KPJ can be really good at is the pick and roll, and we see them going back to it. And I was more impressed when it was Garuba running it than Alperin.
Yeah.
So if that's the offense you want to run, why not have Garuba in there? I mean, you're not going to be running that with Tari, or you're not going to be running that with Deshaun Nix, you know? So get Garuba in there. Let's see what he can do with KPJ. This year's not our year to compete. Let's mix it up. Let's see what we're going to do. Because like we said, we love Alperin, but on a championship winning team, he is not a starting center, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, Usman Garuba, they might start drawing up plays for him to pick and pop a little more, because he is, I forgot the exact stat. Isn't he 8 for 9 on the season with 3-pointers? It's something like that. He's only missed 1 3. Looking at tonight, shot 1, made 1. So
really,
yeah. Obviously, it's not his strong suit. Don't get me wrong, but when the man's hot, you know.
It's kind of like my pickup numbers right there. I don't shoot it often, but when I do, it usually goes in.
Right, definitely. That's definitely. I mean, you compare his to Jalen Green. I mean, Jalen Green shot 8, made 1. So,
I will. Let's talk about Jalen. I am loving what I'm seeing out of Jalen right now. He is not scoring unless he gets to the line, and he's getting to the line, and that means so much to me. I mean, watching it looks like a faster Harden. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, there's a big talent difference, but Jalen is going into the paint with full intention of getting fouled, and he's getting fouled.
I've been noticing that for a while.
So I think that's something that they've wanted him to work on. The only problem with that, I feel like, is that if that's his thing, is get the ball, get in the paint, get fouled, get to the free throw line, he needs to shoot better, which I think he was 8 for 9 or 7 for 8 today from the free throw line.
7 for 8.
7 for 8. He's got to be the prime ball handler, right? Like, you can't have KPJ and then finding a way to get it to him, and then he does that. You know, I feel like that's got to be quick. You got to catch the defense off guard, and you got to try to beat them to the spot, and that's when the fouls are going to happen. So,
yeah. Well, what was really good to see today is that we shot 85% from the free throw line. When have we ever done that? Even in the Harden era.
Harden. I mean, when it was only Harden shooting, because you had Clint Capella.
Yeah, that was a sight to see. I miss Clint.
That is him.
I was watching James
Clint
Harden highlights. I miss James Harden.
Clint Capella would look very good with this team.
Oh yeah. Clint Capella would be an all-star on this team.
Oh yeah. Well, someone's got to make it from the Rockets. Someone.
Not on the team we have right now, but eventually.
Is that not the NBA rule where? Because I know MLB you have to have one from every team.
Oh
nope.
Hell
NBA.
No. No, but let's talk about the inevitable. Tonight, Klay Thompson, 41 points.
We played so good. I didn't want you to bring it up. We played so good. And if you watch the final 5 minutes of that drive, I swear on everything, Steph passed it out to Klay. Klay was already in air. This is how fast his jump shot is. He was already in air and made it. Next drive, KPJ gets a 4-point play. Next drive, Curry comes up. He's 7 feet behind the 3-point line. Just throws it up. The highest arcing shot I've ever seen in my life. And it just goes in. And there's nothing our guys could have done about that. I was so ready watching the game when we were tied to come on here and say that's the difference between a great team and a talented team is being able to close. But that's not even the Rockets not being able to close. That's just Curry and Klay being Curry and Klay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. It's not like we played terrible defense, right? But turnovers got to go away. I'll tell you that right now. It wasn't our worst night with turnovers. I had 12. Still would love to see that go down compared to our usual 83 turnovers a game. It's pretty good. So happy to see that, but I don't know.
That's what's impressive about the Mavs game is that we had so many turnovers. And we still won. That Mavs game was awful to watch with that. Turnovers have to go. I feel like a lot of them, and you're going to be happy about this, Deshaun Nix is due. Every 3 drives, he's due for a turnover.
Let's keep talking about Deshaun Nix in a negative manner. What if he watches this someday? That's gonna be something. What we should get Deshaun Nix on the podcast.
There's no personal animosity against him.
There is.
They're okay. On my end, Deshaun. If you need to contact someone, it's Cameron Craig 28 on Twitter. There's nothing I can say.
Deshaun, if you wanna talk crap to me, I'm just some 5'11", fat white guy with a regular guy who works a regular job. You're an NBA player. Good job, right? Why are you playing? That's my only question. And if you want to go ahead and text Steven Silas for me and ask him what the hell Josh Christopher did to get a DNP tonight, did not play. Go and ask Silas what he did to deserve that. Because even though when he is playing, it hasn't been the best. You have been the worst.
I agree.
He agrees.
I want to agree with you, but can we talk about how bad Josh Christopher has been?
Yeah.
It looks so bad when he gets out there. I think we're going back to his birthday game where he went 3 for 3 from the 3-point line, or didn't miss a shot and ended up dropping 15. think we're going back to those days, but those days are now. If you can like transfer to, I'll take it back to baseball. That's the problem with what Trey Mancini and Christian Vasquez had is you have to get, at least in baseball, you have to get consistent ABs to get out of a slump. You know, like how are you supposed to work out of it if you're getting a spot start, get 3 ABs a week or a pinch hit? Like there's no way to work out of that. And so I'm assuming it's the same for basketball. Maybe not as much because I feel like basketball is catch, shoot, drive, you know? Basketball is all on you, and baseball, it's on, I mean, you might just have the luck of drawing face DeGrom 3 times, you know? Yeah. Basketball, it's on you. So, if we're talking about good bench players, Tari, good for him.
Yeah, big Tari guy. 8 for 14 tonight. 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals. What a guy, you know. What more can you want from him, really? What was he, the 17th overall pick, I believe? Somewhere around there?
Yep.
What more can you ask from him? I mean, Giannis was number 13, but maybe we got Giannis.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay.
No.
You're a big ladder fan, or what?
Jabari is looking better.
Yeah.
He's starting to knock down more shots, and he's starting to take more shots. He was very passive in the first part of the season. He's actually looking to score, and his jump shot is beautiful. His mid-range, oh, man, just gets to the top, shoots, and it looks good. His shot needs to get a little better. I'm not going to lie. He's missing too many shots, but his defense is great.
Yeah.
His defense is great for a smaller 6'10"?
Yeah.
He's a skinnier 6'10". He's 19 years old. I mean, really good defense. Like there's nothing to complain, and I feel like that's what you need to see out of a number 3 pick. If there is struggle, it's got to be because of the shot. It can't be because of the ball handling. It can't be because of the defense. The shot can be fixed. The shot is there. We saw it in Auburn. Let's see it transfer over a little bit. But I've been impressed with Jabari. Like I've been more impressed with Jabari the past 5 games than I was the first 10.
Yeah, and like I said in our last podcast, I think it's been so long, but I'm pretty sure I said it. He'll get there. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll eventually become what we want him to, which is a perennial all-star. So, one day it's going to happen. I'm going to say I told you so to all you Paulo fans. Let's not talk about Paulo, for the love of God. Please do not bring up Paulo, actually. But, yeah. Well, Texans lost. Rockets lost. Astros haven't really done anything in free agency. Talk about that.
Yeah. I've been waiting. I think I said it last podcast, but like you said, it's been too long. Saw the funniest tweet I've ever seen. MLB needs to up their tampering game because it is slow.
Yeah.
The only notable things that have happened, you know how big I was on Robert Suarez and Nick Martinez coming over to fill out the Astros bullpen. Both got re-signed by the Padres. I was hurting about that Nick Martinez one. I called you.
Yeah.
So you have that. Nothing else has really happened. Kyle Lewis to Arizona. I like that move. Kyle Lewis is a good player. I'm scared that the injuries have got him. If you watch him play in Seattle, his knee was bothering him. Just how he ran the bases, played the outfield. But that stuff can change. Gio Urshela goes to L.A. L.A. is not doing anything. You ain't got to worry about it, Astros. Speaking of L.A., Cody Bellinger.
Yep. What are you thinking?
I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I don't think that's a bad option for the Astros to pick up. I do not. Everybody is against the person, but he is at an all-time low right now. He was an MVP. It's another lefty bat. We have no lefty bats off the bench. It's a lefty bat that that you can get for cheap at what is our worst position. I'm not saying he's coming in to start, but if you can get a former MVP, still 28 years old, and he happens to play your worst position,
yeah,
why not? I just don't think Bellinger is a 200. There something's up because it's been like that for the past 2.5 years. But
yeah.
won a World Series in 20. Would you like to see him here? Obviously, the personality might not fit, but
Honestly, I mean, I have nothing against him. Obviously the 2017 World Series and all the whole trash can thing. Of course, I have that, but besides that, right? I don't have a problem with the dude. He's a decent player. He's not anywhere like he used to be. Who knows if he can come back from that? He's still decently young, right?
Yeah, 28, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So he can return to what he was previously, and I would love to see that on the Houston Astros. But I do understand where people are coming from, saying that they wouldn't really want it because of everything that's gone on with LA and Houston. So,
yeah.
I think it'd be a good fit with us. It might be kind of weird at first, but they'd figure it out. So, I don't know. I would like to see that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it'd be a good thing to see.
And then the only other Astro news there is we extended offers to, I think, all 7 out of 8 arbitration available players, all accepted. The only one we didn't extend to is Josh James, and we saw that coming. That's a sad story to hear about. Just he was really good. He was good for us. He was 100-mile-per-hour arm. Just back injuries. He was never able to get over the back. Never able to keep a spot in the MLB. Rarely played in Sugarland. Just couldn't get over the back. And obviously wish him the best. But coming from a pitcher, backs are hard to come back from. So very talented person. He got his major league debut, which is better than 99.9% of the population, but wish him nothing but the best. And I think that's it with the Astros. Obviously, we can talk about James Click, but I'd like that to be its own whole segment some other time later this week. We got time. We're not hiring a new GM. Give my thoughts and your thoughts. Let the whole thing kind of settle where we can think with a clear mind, because I'm pretty passionate about that one. But yeah, it was great getting back on with you, Brett. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a long time no see, but
it was.
I think we went over everything, huh?
I do. I guess another thing that I like talking about future plans is we'll be I don't think I've officially brought this up to Brett yet, but we will be doing podcasts in front of Minute Maid Park or the Summit or places down there. Obviously, we'll invite people out. Those are the ones I really want to have a guest on. But just do podcasts out in Houston. I think that's very enjoyable. If we're buying the equipment to be able to interview and do stuff like that, why not use it? So we'll tweet out when that will be. If anyone wants to join, anyone wants to watch, whatever it be. But I think the first one I want to do Minute Maid Park right there in left field where they have the benches and stuff right in front.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds good to me. You never brought that up to me. Sounds good. You're lucky. But yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, and it's a good way to get the community involved also. So yeah, that'd be good. But I believe we ran out of stuff to talk about. Can you believe it?
No, and I think it's gonna. You might see our podcast shortening up. We don't have the World Series champs to talk about. I'm assuming if we don't see you again before Thanksgiving, happy holiday season. Watch a lot of football, hang out with your family, and most of all, give God all the glory. So,
what else?
If there's anything you want to say to the people about Thanksgiving?
What else is going on before Thanksgiving?
Dude, you're not gonna. I was gonna give out a big tweet. The Big 20. Happy birthday, Brett. Still got 2 hours left. Love you like a brother. You've been there for me my entire life. Can't thank you enough. This might be your first birthday that I haven't seen you in I don't know how long.
I know.
So enjoy it, party it up. One more year, huh?
Yeah, one more year until all hell breaks loose. But yeah, I was thinking about it today. I said, man, I'm turning 20 tomorrow. If you think about it, if I live till 80, guess what? I'm 1/4 done, baby.
You're 1/4 done. It feels like yesterday you came over on your scooter and be like, I do not miss a shot from right here.
I still don't. I still don't miss that shot every time. That little bank shot from the right hash, easy every time.
Oh, dude. When my dad sees this, he's gonna laugh if he remembers that.
Shout out John.
Shout out Mr. Craig.
Shout out 8-inch
Shout out Mr. Craig. Shout out Mr. Craig. Our first ever PG episode. We did it. We went the whole time. You did it, Brett.
I said hell a few times. It's okay though. Yeah. Shout out 8-inch Craig. Brian. I guess. Yeah. I think this is a good spot to go ahead and end it. So, we'll see y'all later.
See ya.